Hello, everybody. Welcome to the trip. Yeah, it's not at our usual scheduled times. Sorry about that, but as some of you know, yesterday was it's my day. Even though it was it's my day, but I had to do some stuff that I didn't really want to do. Well, I didn't want to do what I had to do. Um, the guys should be joining me. At least they didn't say they weren't. So we'll see who joins. If not, it's just me. And I guess that probably means we go fast. But yeah, this yesterday, for those who didn't know, yes, was my. I'm not even gonna count, but it's another spin around the sun, as they say. So yeah, it was my birthday yesterday. So I celebrated like most people do, right? Well, I guess it worked out pretty well. Well, one I drove down and saw my mom the night before, and then I guess I had a birthday breakfast with my mom, and then I left and I went to the DMV to get my license renewed. It expired, and I wasn't feeling well, I guess weeks ago, and I forgot to schedule it on time. And so when I finally did decide to schedule it, I found a place that was about 100 miles away from my house. And then yeah, and it actually worked out because it was on the day of my birthday. So my license expired, but I was at the license plate getting it renewed. So I'm all set now. Then I had to drive home, had a birthday dinner with the boss, and later on got to enjoy my college team win a national championship. And they won the Final Four championship game, NCAA college, and so that was good. And then today, Arsenal playing Real Madrid. Um, so far so good in regards to Arsenal never losing to Real Madrid in the Champions League knockout to Real Madrid, but here we are. So let's get into it. I'll say hi to a couple of people, and I believe we should. Oh, Spencer says he's decided to do updates right before the show. Imagine that. Bad, Spencer. You're supposed to do your updates overnight when you're sleeping or something. That way you don't have to deal with it when you need it. But yes, Mr. Tom has joined us. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tom. He says, congratulations on the win today, Arsenal fans. Yeah, really good win for Arsenal. We're going to take it. A lot of people, I had us winning, but just not 3-0. I had us winning 2-1. We'll get into that a little bit later as I say hello to everybody. As you see, Spencer was pushing updates, but it looked like he's good now because I see him in the back room. We've got AFC Always here as well. Welcome to the show. It says Beckham Rice, bend it like Beckham, bend it like Rice. But we'll get into that and then some. Oh, look at this. We got the full house. Everybody's here. For some reason, they don't like joining me on time because I know Tony wasn't doing anything. Spencer gave me an excuse. Tony just decides he don't want to be on. Now he's probably mumbling to himself in the back room, but we get to hear what he has to say. But first, let's say hello to Spencer. Spencer, how are you doing? You are muted on my side, so I can't hear you, and I don't believe I didn't mute you.
No,
All right, go ahead.
No, I was hooked up to my gaming card thing, so it takes a sound. Whatever, nobody cares. But happy birthday to you. Congratulations to the Miami Gators. And
that is mean.
And listen, you talk about how great everything was, and how Arsenal today. Now you get to talk to me. So,
well, sorry. You know what, when you're all the way up here, some things need to kind of correct. It's autocorrect. You know what? Yeah. So it's a balance of like the good and the bad. This is good. This is good.
But
now
we got. I had to do that. Oh, there we go. Director John, with being an Arsenal fan is perfect for being muted. There you go. But no, what a great day. What a great day. Yeah. I'll let you bring Tony in when you're ready.
All right, so here we go. And last but not least, showing half his head. All right, there we go. Got the full head. Mr. Tony Turner. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing all right, and I'm making a correction for you, Gary. I did send you an excuse. I don't know how long I'll be on hold for Walgreens, so when I disappear, that's hopefully you don't hear about hold music.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you have to go do what you got to do, and then do what you got to do. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't see the excuse, so you might have sent it when I was like just. I don't usually check any. I might listen to a show before I join my show, but I never really check anything else. That's usually the time I can just like I'll listen to a show and I'll play a video game on my phone and stuff. So yes,
You dropped the ball, Gary.
on what?
Just dropped the ball.
Oh, just not checking my stuff.
Yeah.
Mr. Tom had a 7-7 draw, which I think is ridiculous. How is Real Madrid going to score 7 on us? That's the part I don't get. And I am. You can mute yourself if you want. I'll mute you. While you do whatever you. Are you back? Are you back now?
Who, me?
I don't know. That was your phone, right?
No.
All right. It sounded like it might have come from
Wasn't
you.
me.
All right. There was some
That's
noise playing. I could have swore it came from you, but maybe I was wrong. Happy 21st birthday. Yes. I'll take that. I don't. Yeah. My kids though are younger. Hey Tony, we can hear you. That's got to be you.
Where was?
Mute yourself, dude. When you hear that, whatever that is on your phone, we can hear it.
So good.
Usually it filters out the background.
No, it don't
stuff.
filter out because I heard it the first time and I heard it the second time. So whatever you did the first time, you didn't fix it.
I feel like this is like a movie skit right now. We can hear you.
There you go. Miss Melina's in the house. Welcome to the show. And Mr. Tom joining in on I don't even know what that is, but it's called the Florida Gators. That's who I support. And yeah, Director John. Yeah. Rosie's in the house as well. So smash the likes and subscribe. And there you go. Check out the shows you got. If you're into Denver Broncos, Spencer does that. He does video games as well.
Yep.
Tony is into this wrestling thing. So you can check him out when he does his wrestling, either commentary. I guess it's usually live shows that he does. So check that out. All right.
It's always live, Gary. It varies between being live with Russ on Thursday, or if I do any of the days of a week shows, then I'm usually by myself.
I hear you. All right, so let's get into it. Yeah, so after my heartache last night, for anybody who watched it, I'll get into that real quick. Florida Gators like to they don't like to win games in the first half. Sort of like Arsenal. They like to go with the dramatic in the second half. Today wasn't dramatic for Arsenal, but last night was dramatic for my team. The Gators. They didn't win it until the last basically second of the game. Basically, that's when it was officially won. But I'll take it.
That's what they put in the record books.
Yep. Nobody cares about how things finish, but they like the scoreline. So here we go. Arsenal opens the doors to Real Madrid. Real Madrid, as far as I was heard, as far as I knew from everybody else, Real Madrid is definitely likely to go through, no matter what happens in the first match. Arsenal will need to win at least by 2 goals. My understanding is by at least 2 goals, and then they might at least push Real Madrid to do something when they're home. Nobody said anything about 3-0, so we'll see. But yeah, Arsenal showed up today, and started a little scary for me. Tony's on the side now. I don't know what's going on with. First he's got like audio playing, and now he's just hanging out on the side.
Could be an earthquake, Gary. We should be.
It could be an earthquake. Or you mean a gravitational pull has like switched where he lives, and it just turns everything on its side?
That's Oklahoma.
That probably is Oklahoma.
we don't have earthquakes like we were having.
Oh,
We went from a dozen a year to 1,500 a year. Governor said, "No, it's not from the fracking."
It's not from the breaking up the earth below doesn't really affect. The earth doesn't respond.
So they figured out all the dirty water they stored in the ground would cause earthquakes. So now they're limited on what they can, how much they can store.
Yep.
I can't believe they can store any. It seems like they have to suck it up and.
Yeah. And that was your, is it geology lesson? Is that right? Geology?
Yeah,
Tony?
Geology and industry. Both.
The people of Oklahoma, like you couldn't even get home insurance sometimes out there. It was really pretty bad for a minute.
So here we go. So I just gave my little quick review on the Arsenal match going into it. Spencer, going into the match, how are you feeling?
I mean, I was pretty. I don't know, like I was just trying to survive the week of work, right? But then, like for some reason, I looked at my phone and realized it was today, which I thought it was tomorrow, but whatever. That's another story. And I got a little excited for it. I was able to watch it, and then I was able to I was uninterrupted for about a good 19 minutes. And of course, my boss calls me with the most pointless. I mean, could have been an email. Conversation that I'm like, as the game went on, the more excited I got, if that makes sense. Like there was that initial excitement, or like it was like, okay, my boy that lives over, I think he's in Italy right now, texted me and was like, hey man, super excited, and it was like that kind of got me going. And it's like this is the benchmark we wanted. It's a benchmark test. That's exactly what it is. It doesn't mean you've passed the test, but you've passed the first half of the test. So I think there was an excitement when of course we'll get into the goals, but once I lost my voice for, I didn't think I was going to text you, Gary, and be like, good luck. But I got my voice back, thankfully. It'll be hurt. Like Holly thought I was going to have a stroke. I was excited, man. It was fun. So yeah, excited.
Cool. Tony, going into the game, tell me what your thoughts were. I can't imagine what they were. Let's see if you will surprise us.
I still thought the best we could get was the 0-0 draw that Spencer was rooting for, but after the game this weekend, I'm like, I don't think we have much of a chance, and Arsenal proved me wrong.
Yep.
And then Gary, have we found Rice's position? Still say he's a better attacker than anything else.
Now, if we found Rice's position, I'll say no to that still. But I don't think we found a position yet. But you know what? He just does everything. So, whatever that means, it's probably one of those players you just have to have on the field, and then you just fill in a spot and let him do what he does, because he's always going to do something. But yeah, no, it was he's always supporting the cause, just to say that, whatever it is, today we needed somebody to step up. And I thought was funny is I have the game playing again right now, and guess who took the first free kick? It's Erdogan, and his first free kick basically didn't make it to anybody but somebody in a gray shirt. So, who would have thought that's what we started from how we ended, right? I've always said, let Erdogan take it, because he's more clinical with his crossing and all that kind of stuff. And I guess the question would be, in the midfield, does Erdogan actually get a spot? I mean, he had some really good moments today, but when you see what Rice is doing, you're like, all right, well, that's another role off of Erdogan's list in terms of responsibilities. He doesn't have to take free kicks now. I mean, he'll press for sure, but free kicks, I don't think he needs to do that anymore. Got a couple of more people join us. We got Moss is in the house. He says Don Colo can retire now to Vancouver, Canada. You said we would win, as always. Yeah, I said we would win 2-1. We needed to, even based on the way we were playing, I still believe our defense is pretty good. And everybody said that Real Madrid wouldn't play a low block, so we would have some space, and we definitely did, and we definitely took advantage. of it. They've got all the talent in the world. We can still hear whatever's going on in your house, Tony.
Couldn't hear it.
Dude, no, it's the third. You should be out. It should be 3 strikes and you're out. Dude, whatever you're doing, mute your line, mute the show, and then turn it on. How about that, Tony? How about you just mute yourself now, and then when you're ready to talk, and unmute yourself. How about you do that? Yeah, what is the emergency, Tony, that you have to be on the line? Interrupt to my show.
Medication.
Medication. All right. I'll let it slide this time.
Pharmacy, Gary.
Dude, you're doing it on a live show. It can't be that much. It can't be that private.
Well, usually it doesn't kick.
Whatever you are hearing, we hear. Yeah, this guy. I don't know what that means. My chickens haven't hatched. Oh, the phone. You've got eggs? What?
I don't know, but they're doing nonsense in the chat room. So
they're just I don't know what any of this stuff means. So, all right.
What about now, Gary?
I can't hear whatever's going on your side. So, yeah. All right. Let's get into the game. Let's go with the lineup. My favorite. I'm going to say it. Kirior scared me being in the lineup. I mean, what we saw in the first 20, 30 minutes of the match is why he concerns me. If there was anything crazy going on, he was right in the middle of it. The run through the middle, he's right there. Getting beat off the, outpaced. But then things calmed down, and I think then he made some of those plays that probably got him man of the match in the previous match. So he's still scary to me. But he played well. I'll take all the good that he did, and that overshadows all the scary parts of the game that he had as well. And I think if Arteta, I don't understand how Arteta will let Kirill do the things he can do in terms of play, even though he's a risk sometimes. And then in Weary, we gotta protect him because he might make mistakes. You know what? These young kids I think will pick it up, and that's why I think in Weary should be on the pitch more than he didn't even play today. I think he should get more minutes than he is, and he might even get more minutes. Erdegaard, right? Why can't he just take Erdegaard's minutes, right? Late in the game.
No,
you 3-0.
You can't. No, you can't. You had to have Odegaard out there today.
Yeah. No, I'm saying we're up 3-0. You can pull him then.
Oh, I don't know, man. Not with Mbappe and Vinicius still out there.
You're up 3-0. We had them. The fact that we brought in even with the lead that we had.
I got to respectfully disagree on that one.
I hear you saying. I just feel like he needs to get on the field somehow, or you pull Rice when he got the little knock there.
Yeah,
maybe you bring in Weary then.
I don't know if the moment's ready for Nweri. I know it is for Skelly.
You're lying. You're lying because Nweri's come in and performed early in the season when Skelly wasn't getting all this praise. The fact is he doesn't get enough opportunities, and that's the only reason why you're saying it is because Skelly is getting pushed out there every day in your face, and then where he's being held back.
Just call him a non-believer instead of a liar.
I'm not. I didn't say there's anything wrong with Nweri. I think he's a good player. I just don't. I think you needed to keep Odegaard out there because there was at any moment Real Madrid could have pulled it to 3-1.
There's any moment that we could have been up 2-0 in the first half.
But I'd tell you what I would have done, though, Gary. I would have started White, Saliba, Timber, and then Skelly. That's what I would have started.
Well, obviously White's not healthy, and that's why he's not on the field. So that's the problem right there.
Yeah. So again, Kivior is kind of the only thing you got right now.
Yeah. Hopefully, whatever they're doing, hopefully they're getting White prepared to play in Spain. All right.
Yeah.
And we'll see how they do with not necessarily our best back line, but probably possibly one of our best back line. If you listen to certain people, it could be our best back line. Without, I know without Gabrielle, but at some point we're gonna have to be able to play without one of our center backs and still perform.
So I said it on Gooner Gathering earlier tonight because I hopped on there and I've done this my second one today. But I said this is Kivior's job edition. This is an audition right now, right? I mean, and if you want to talk about price tag, I think he was about 20 million when we bought him. Gabrielle cost about 25, and then Saliba cost whatever he cost, about 25, so about the same price range. So why shouldn't I want him to go out there and perform, because we need to know whether that backup center back position is his or it's time to move on and push Calafiori in there. So he had a couple squirrely moments. Well,
the first 20 minutes or so was a little like, ouch.
It was very
but I don't think I felt like that for about 60, 70 minutes of this match, where he stood out to me as like, well, you know what? I'm scared when they attack us. He did really well.
I think he
I believe in my eyes. Huh?
He had good poise. I think I think he was fine.
Yeah.
There's not anybody I could pick on today, really. No. I mean, I think everybody was really up for the moment. I said this earlier today, and I believe
whatever you're doing, Tony, mute yourself, dude. Or do you want me to mute you?
So
and then you put your hand up when you want to talk, and I'll unmute you. All right.
I don't know how you hear anything.
I can hear everything you can hear. All right. Let's just say that you're muted until you put your hand up, and then I'll mute you and I'll let you talk. Ay. This guy's like a little kid, man. Sorry about that, Spencer.
No, you're good. Hey, look, we're here having fun.
Let's say hi, before you continue. Let's say hi to Scooby D2. Says evening all. Yeah, Mr. Tom was talking about counting his chickens before they hatch. I don't know which chickens were hatching before you're talking about. That's all. I didn't know what that meant. If those eggs have got penguins in them, I'm charging a tariff. Tariffs. Anyway. All right, Spencer.
So what I was going to say is the difference between this year and last year. So if you like go back and look at the Bayern Munich game last year, like we saw a team that wasn't like mentally ready. And what I mean by that, like they weren't mature enough for the moment. We saw polar opposite tonight. We saw a team that was not intimidated by 15 on the arm. Like they didn't care about that. They didn't care that Bellingham was out there. They didn't care that Bellingham was lucky to not get a yellow card tonight for his attack. I can't remember who he tackled. Go to guard. He basically pulled him down twice. And
well, Real Madrid's lucky, right? Because they're lucky they've got their officials in their pocket, right?
Oh yeah, I mean everybody knows this.
Because a lot of the calls, you're like, are you serious? Like,
yeah.
Every time they went to the ground, it was a penalty. Every time they did the same thing to us. It was like, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I was going to say that the mental fortitude and the experience showed tonight from Arsenal that we didn't see last year.
Yeah.
I mean, now granted, they're not out of the water. I mean, we still got to go next week to the Bernabeu and get the business done over there, which, again, is not a walk in the park. But, I mean, this is a great opportunity, man. Like, you talk about if you'd have told everybody tonight, hey, it's going to be 3-0.
Yep.
Arsenal, you'd have been like, how many times did Camavinga kick the ball in the back of the net? Like there'd have been that argument. But I think Arteta in, Arteta out. I think you and I are pretty clear on our stance on that. Got to give Arteta credit to do this without a striker. I mean,
well, you know what? He learned from Pep, who's done it without a striker.
Yeah.
I believe, and this is why I don't necessarily care who we get as a striker. We need a striker. Is that we put the balls in positions for a striker who's going to be there. That's the problem. They're never there sometimes. Moreno's there. He still supports in the midfield a little bit too much for me, but he's usually up there right in the middle of things as things are happening. So we don't like where did he go? You don't have to do that. Like whereas Kai Havertz, I felt like I think as far as getting back into position, he's a little bit slower to get back into position. And that's why sometimes I'm like, where is he? Where is our center forward? But we can see from the amount of time that Moreno gets the ball that he's there. We saw a couple more people talking about how people are doing. Not bad, Rosie. Aching after a long jumper from Great British team gave me a massage. But okay, I don't know what. That's a lot of stuff. Oh, Leeds are at the top. Sorry, Mr. Tom. I didn't even have time to watch the Leeds match. I just had Arsenal on today. But congratulations that you've made it back up there. I know there's probably
Right
more games
along,
that
though.
can knock you back down, but you need to keep getting wins, right? Keep getting wins. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, look at that. They're top, but Burnley's got 2 games in hand, right?
Oh, is that Burnley has
Oh
two
no,
games?
no, I'm completely wrong. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Leeds is on 85, Burnley on 85, Sheffield on 83, Sunderland 76, Bristol 62.
Everybody's on the same number of games played.
Yeah, 41 matches.
Oh, nice. Because I know that they were behind by two.
They were in third place.
2 points.
I think.
They're by 2 points. They were in third they were 2 points behind the top. So
Yeah.
good for them. If you're on Sports joins us, welcome to the show.
Hello.
For those who check him out, usually he does a show for me, it's every morning. I guess it's like 11, not 11. It's probably like noon, between noon and 1. I think you'll check him out if you want, and check out what his views are on Arsenal. Yeah. Job's not done. Yeah, you just gotta keep winning. Get another 3 points, and then another 3 points, and then guess what you need to do after that?
Another 3 points.
Get another 3 points. Just that simple. Sheffield United lost twice since Leeds played on Saturday. Very nice. That's all you need to do is just keep winning. So where were we? Before
I think we're talking about the lineup and everything, and
yeah. All right, like I said, like you said, there's not really one person I can single out and say anything too negative about them. Really, everybody. I think this is a team win, and like you said, from last year to this year, I think for me, what's happened, I believe, is the team is more confident in a sense that like Arteta's giving them like confidence so they can go out there and just perform, as opposed to like holding them back, and then when they go out there, they're a little concerned and scared, and that's what you see sometimes. Like we've changed our backline in terms of fullbacks for sure, so many times this year, and we haven't seen a significant drop off. We haven't seen really any issues with our fullbacks, right? And we've used how many combinations of fullbacks right now? Right now we have to use combinations of center backs, and you know what? I still feel like we are gonna have it's not that big of a drop off either, because I think as a back line, they still play well together, and because they've been playing well together, they know each other, and there's barely Skelly just fit in perfectly. Otherwise, everybody else has been playing together for a bit. So I think that kind of continuity has been great, and they've been able to fill holes, right, with people and not lose anything, not lose a step.
Yeah, I mean, again, thinking about it, and it's like, there was a concern with the Kivior thing, right, about him starting. It didn't end up hurting this team. I feel like partly, I think we're kind of very reliant on Gabriel and Saliba mentally as fans, right? Like, and again, it's the same thing when you get a quarterback, right? When you get a quarterback, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Like my draft preparation for the Broncos this year has been like completely just there's a quarterback there. So when you have that good center back pairing, you don't worry about your defense. And now that one of the guys is out, there's that question mark that you didn't have last week, so that changes your mentality on it. But I think, Kivior, and I said this also, like, I think Kivior gets elevated by the players around him. Skelly makes him better. Saliba makes him better. Raya makes him better. Partey in front of him, who was a boss today. Just Partey was controlling that midfield. To me, like that's what helps Kivior out. Whereas when Rob Holding was thrown in there, it was a little bit more of I'm not comparing the two. I know I just mentioned that, but I'm comparing the situation of, hey, Saliba's hurt, now you're in, right? A backup coming in, and he's got a better supporting cast that allows him to probably play a little bit more confidently, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a bad football player. I think people just, I don't know what their expectation of Kivior is. I think he's I think he's.
Well, I think what happened is they brought Holding in, and then they scared everybody. Right? It's like like you're playing, you bring somebody in, like at everybody's sitting there going, "Oh, damn it! This isn't this isn't Saliba, it's Holding," as opposed to Holden is in. Let's go to work. All right, Rodrigo's in, and Holden comes in, and I think he knows it, and he shows it. He shows that he's not confident in what he's about to do, and it just it just corrupts the entire system. Kyrgios is coming in and just doing his thing. He has, as a whole, it doesn't no heads go down. Right?
Yeah.
No heads go down. We're just here to do our job and move on. So it doesn't affect us the way the Holding situation. And I think that's just a younger squad and a younger manager, and all those things contribute to how we're playing now. Like, he's confident in Arteta's confident in what he's doing. I think he needs to give a little. I think he needs to give more minutes to people. But otherwise, I believe from Partey backwards, he's good. Like, if you just take Partey at the top of that, whatever you want to call it, a diamond, or like Partey, and then the 4 defenders and the goalkeeper, fine. Even if you switch that with Jorginho, fine. Still, in certain situations, Rice doesn't get there as often, but I think you put Rice in that situation, still fine. All right.
Yeah.
Right, but you move forward, it's not the same situation there, and that needs to change. We say hi a couple people in here. Mom's in the house. Welcome to the show, Mom. Made me a good breakfast on my birthday. Thank you.
Hello, Gary's mom.
Yes. Oh man, I'm trying to think. All right, she gave me. All right, I have to find. She gave me something, and I just realized it, but I'll get into that. Everybody saying hello. I don't know what this Ronaldo Bango, or just, I don't know what that is. That's some talk. I have no clue. Daley Thompson. Yep. Nothing. I don't know what that is. That's some chatter. I have no clue.
It's probably Leeds talk, right?
Probably. I don't know. So yeah, so as far as the lineup, I think the only concern I had was Kyrgios, but that was pretty much squashed, and I think we'll get into why that was. But I believe now we can kind of move on to that first half, or we can just get into the game, whatever stands out.
Your show. I'm here.
Yeah.
Let me know what you want to talk about.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about the first half. I think we were just feeling each other out in terms of like what they were gonna do. We could see it right away. They weren't gonna try to attack us. They were gonna wait for us to kind of give them some openings. Like they were. I think they were more concerned that we're gonna get them because of I believe their defense is suspect, and their discipline is suspect as well. So I think we play some teams, and even if we make a mistake, they've got backup. Things don't just break down. I think Real Madrid has shown that they're a little not so consistent or disciplined in their defensive responsibilities, and things will break down. And so they didn't really go at us as much as I thought they would. They might do that when they go home, because right now they have no choice anyways. But in the event it was a 0-0 game, they definitely would have felt confident they can get something done offensively. But now they may have to rethink that a little bit, because we have options too to score. So that's kind of the first half. I felt was just a feeling out. We both had opportunities. They had opportunities to probably score. We definitely had opportunities to score. I mean, Saka with his crosses. They put the ball in really dangerous situations.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just weren't there to get on the end of it in some respects. In other cases, the defense got there first and cleared away the danger. But he looked all right out there, in the sense that if they're going to go 1-on-1, he's just going to beat his man. Basically, that's how that worked all game, right? They bring 2 or 3 people, he control the ball and push it back. They go 1-on-1. He's like, all right, well, I got you. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to go by you every time. And he did that basically at least 4 or 5 times. He was able to put crosses in. One time he put a cross in, I was hoping shot. But
There
otherwise,
was nobody on a couple of them. It was like,
I would have liked him to try that shot and see if he could just get it past the goalkeeper. You know, like that Liverpool shot that he made. Remember, right? He just shot it right over the goalkeeper's hands. Basically, by the time the goalkeeper's hands came up, it was too late. I would have liked to have seen him try that. Went on. There's a couple of those where he got by. The angle would have been weird, but it would have been probably that probably would have caught the goalkeeper out a little bit. But otherwise, that first half, I think both teams had an opportunity to score. Could have been 2-2, could have been 2-0 either way if the shots fell. I don't know how you felt about that first half.
Yeah, first half felt like a more feeling out. I felt very wide open, if I'm honest. Like, I didn't really get the same vibe of them not trying to come at us. Like, it felt more like they were counterattacking, but it wasn't really. Both teams were trying to score, in my opinion. I just think it just was odd because it was wide open. And I think that's what's helped us out in Europe this year. I think we play better when we play teams that want to go have a go at us. And, their space now becomes open because people have vacated certain spots. So, it's definitely one of those. I was really surprised. Like, I think there is an intimidation factor when you see the Real Madrid badge, right? I think there is an intimidation factor, especially as fans, right? So there's an expectation level versus reality. And I guess I didn't have faith that this team could get a result tonight. I really didn't.
Yeah. Well, I always say, I always look at, coming into the game, like were they close to something where like they're improving. So when they get into this game, I'll see it, and then maybe it'll click this time. Didn't see any of that. So like there's nothing to like build on.
Yeah.
So coming into this game, there's nothing to build on. Not expecting any of what we saw today to any that we saw last game to come into this game and look better. Right.
Here's the even thing about Saturday's game. Like, outside the penalty, it's another clean sheet, right? And I'm trying to remember. Did we shut out Fulham too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's almost 3 clean sheets in a row. So I know the penalty and obviously they scored, but as far as stuff from free play, this team's been really solid defensively, even, with Gabriel going down. So, maybe. I mean,
the problem is the problem that's happened in the beginning of the season. We are vulnerable to that goal.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like, no matter how, like, it doesn't, like, as much as Everton didn't look like they were going to get much out of the game, there's always the way we've been playing. The fact that they were able to get a goal because multiple reasons. Our defense, like some will say, Kyrgios should have made a play on the ball, and maybe that then Miles Lewis-Skelly doesn't get put in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
If that's Saliba, that probably doesn't happen, right? Because we're playing the same way we always play. We just have different players now. Kyrgios is not Saliba, so in that same situation, Gabriel probably gets to that ball, and we don't even see that situation come about, right? So then, so we're playing the same way with different pieces. The pieces just aren't as good. And then, so everybody should be a little bit cautious. But if you're just, you didn't think about it until it's too late. And then next thing you know, I think Skelly, for me, should have just attacked the ball. I think he was a little bit too concerned about the man. And if he attacked the ball, he probably gets to the ball and just boots it away, plays the man a little bit and gets caught out. And then we're in trouble. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just expected more from Real Madrid. I wasn't actually impressed at all with them, to be honest with you.
You think people are going to say, well, Arsenal got the worst Madrid again. So like last year, we got the worst Bayern Munich. We weren't able to do anything about that. This time we got the worst for Madrid, which this is the worst Madrid, but way better than the Bayern Munich we played last year.
You're going to get that because here's the thing, and I'm not going to sit here and say Arteta deserves credit because I think partially he does based on the fact that look what we're doing without a striker right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that in itself to be the second best team in England through all the tiers without a dedicated striker in itself is impressive, period.
Mm-hmm.
I will argue, it's not an endorsement of Arteta, but that is impressive, period. People are going to do this, man. Like, Gary, we've been in this YouTube game now for, I don't know, like, you've been longer than me. People would rather be right than be happy. So they're going to find whatever they can do to discredit this and not just enjoy the moment. There's going to be Arsenal fans tonight, they're going to say, yeah, well, wait till you go to the Bernabeu and the Real Madrid. This isn't the best Real Madrid we've seen. And I said this tonight that if we don't win next week, then all this could be potentially for nothing. But we're never going to forget 2 Declan Rice free kicks in the Champions League night in the court. You're just not.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to lose 4-0 right now.
It could happen, but I don't see this team conceding.
No, 4-0. Like, that's what it has to.
Yeah.
Like, they have to beat us by 4. And as you said, we don't give up multiple goals in a game against most like anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if this is the worst Real Madrid, Bernabeu or not, I think we still have a good chance not to give up 4 goals, and maybe not to even give up 3 goals, because that's the key right there is 3 goals.
I'll tell you what, I know we're going to probably talk about it again, and maybe I'm jumping ahead and everything, but I think to an extent we're going to be sitting here looking at this, and we're like, hey, next Monday we're going to sit here and you're like, Spencer, what do you think about Wednesday? And I'm going to say, have a go, man. You're up 3-0. Okay, great. But I don't want to sit on my laurels and hold on.
We can't do that as a squad. We are not that team that cannot play our football and still, like, we can't just go into a box, right? We can't go into a low block and defend and not we're making mistakes now going into that situation, and then like they get that first goal and then everything gets a little bit helter-skelter, right? Like, no, just play our game. We are sound as it is. We don't need to change anything, all right?
You got to score first, too. You have to score first there. You have to take that crowd out of it.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, this is going to be something these guys haven't experienced. The level of
hopefully I think Tony had a phone call, so hopefully that's where he is, and he did not just not leave us because sorry, I just had to think. I was thinking about that. I know he had a phone call to take, so hopefully that's what he's doing because he needs his meds.
Yeah, we want Tony to be healthy. And I think it's going to be this. It's a big European night. It's everything that the Arsenal fans wanted. You know, like the big European night. I mean, and I said this earlier tonight, and I referenced everything I do earlier in the day. So whatever. I haven't figured out a better segue than that, but that's what I've got for right now, Gary. But I'll say this much. Enjoy the moment. I know everybody's obsessed with trophies and think that's all that matters. But again, like the Florida Gators won a trophy last night, and you kind of want another one, right? But if those moments like when Florida was winning in football, if someone had told you, hey, man, enjoy that win over Mississippi State because you're going to have a 6-6 year or 5-7 coming up, you'd enjoy those moments. So I guess my point here is the destination's important, but so is the journey. And this is part of the journey, that 3-0 win over Real Madrid, when no one believed in you. No one believed in Arsenal. So that in itself, enjoy it. The work job's not done, but it's just another peg in that journey.
I know we definitely should be able to enjoy it. I mean, I've seen people like already thinking about the next game and how that one's probably going to lose there, and it's like we just won 3-0
for Real Madrid.
Like, we just won 3-0. Like, won 3-0 in a game. Everybody said, we're not, we're lucky to score 2 goals in, and we scored 3, and they scored none. Yeah. Say hello to we got BX Gunners in the house. Say hi to BX Gunner. Thanks for joining us tonight. And some clarifications on Scooby-Doo's Ronaldo Bonigo, long jumper for the Great Britain team. Daley Thompson, who I saw the name. I didn't want to say, is he the guy in track and field? I just remember him running sprints. I forgot that he was a decathlete. Really good one, as he said, unbeaten in 9 years. Does that mean he's got 2 Olympic golds? Is that what that means?
Probably. 9 years.
Yeah, should be at least 2 2 Olympic golds there, right?
I would think, yeah, I think that would qualify as that, because that's at least 8 years. That would really suck to be good for that 9 years and only get 1 Olympics gold out of it just because of the way that felt,
True.
But
Yeah. Now you know what we're gonna learn from our little mistakes today, especially in that, like I said, that first 30 minutes, the little things that we did, like are we expecting Saka to make a back pass to no one, which sends them on their way, and then Raya has to make that save, right? That all happened from a bad pass from Saka, right?
Yeah.
We're not expecting that to happen in Bernabeu. He usually, I think
they
every time,
they would slot that there probably.
Yeah. So I don't think we're gonna see. I think Saka, that was just a little miscommunication with him and Erdegaard, in sense of he thought Erdegaard was gonna go back. Erdegaard thought he was just gonna stay put. And just for me, that might have been Erdegaard thinking, you know what, let's continue to attack, and Saka going, let's go back and retreat, right?
Yeah.
And I really like, if that's the case, then Erdegaard was right, Saka was wrong. Because I wanted to keep attacking at that point. We had them, in the attacking third at that point. The cross that Erdegaard put in didn't go anywhere, but came back to us, and then we turned it over and created a little bit of a mess for ourselves.
I'll have to go back and rewatch it.
It's
because some of these moments I remember, but I got so into it today.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I said, the reason why it's fresh in my mind because I saw it, like I had it playing as we started the show.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to things that pop up in the game, I can bring it into the show right away because I'm watching it and all that.
Yeah.
Right, I'm off. Wanted to share links. Thank you, Rosie, for joining us. I appreciate all that you do for the channel as far as the pub, bringing people, letting people know from Dan's show that we're going to have the show tonight. Appreciate it. Have a good night, and everybody say good night to Rosie.
Good night, Rosie.
And thank you again. Yes, 80 and 84. There you go. I don't remember 80, but 84. I remember the year Ben Johnson beat world record. Yeah, I remember. I remember that that Olympics. Yeah, but got it taken off from. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I wasn't born yet.
You weren't born in 84?
No, I was born in 86. So.
Oh man, what the hell was going on? I was 84. I was 7th grade. So yeah. So wow. Yeah, I was like a couple years. That's like about 3 years into my U.S. When I came to the U.S. So yeah. Which is, if you're younger than me, was a big deal because it was 100 meters and first case of doping. Plus, it meant he sort of beat Carl Lewis. And if you don't know him, I can't help you. Yeah, you got to know Carl Lewis. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not completely a Neanderthal. Partial Neanderthal.
Yeah, so that's the first half. Going in 0-0. We'll take it. I think for me, I was more concerned that our opportunities we didn't complete some of our opportunities as much as.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Real Madrid would rue the day that they missed theirs, because you don't expect to miss theirs. I mean, Mbappe had a couple of shots. Again, I think Vinny really didn't play well today. So you kind of expect that to change, but I think Vinny's that's kind of what we've been seeing from Vinny this year. Like, not the player that could have won, the Ballon d'Or last year, kind of thing, as far as they were concerned. Yeah, so yeah, he's kind of dropped off.
I think Mbappe had one that he tried to curl and Raya got his hand on it. It may have been Mbappe, or it could have been.
Yeah, no, he had a curl but it didn't. It didn't curl. He tried to curl it past him, and it just went straight out.
Mbappe in their pocket tonight, if we're honest. Like, he was not impressive at all. Yeah, but I don't think he was getting good service from their midfield either, and I think that's where the game was won. Odegaard, Moreno, and Partey just dominated that midfield.
When Moreno comes back to support, then you've got like 4 midfielders in there.
And that's why we had that 3 midfield of Partey, Moreno, and Rice, it didn't work. But when you throw Odegaard on there, who can link things up and be a little bit more creative, it just
I get the creative, but I want the creative further up the pitch. I don't want the creative to get to the creative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. But it's all part of it too, because you're still going to get the creative up the pitch. But there's moments where you've got to have that deep lying playmaker that gets the ball at the midway line and hits Saka on the wing, so Saka can take off, or flips it over to Rice, who can hit Martinelli to start his run. That creates the other runs. It's all part of that whole system. But that's where I think the game was won today more than anything, just watching Partey. And I was looking at the heat maps here a little bit earlier as we were talking, and I was particularly wanted to see Thomas Partey's. And it's just pretty much everything, middle to like it's just.
When we are having a good day, I don't even recognize the midfield. They don't stand out to me because it just like you don't like realize all the stuff that they're doing. It just team as a whole, just everything's just like we're working in our favor. All right, the ball is up top a lot. You got Saka holding on to the ball out there wide, right? So I kind of felt like that's like when our midfield is clicking, you don't realize it until once in a while you'll see an interception by Partey, right? You'll see Erdegaard pressing, and you see Rice every so often get into the box, and you're like, yeah, that's right. We do have midfielders, but they're playing so good that it just doesn't really like they don't stand out as much, but everything's clicking, right? The offense is clicking, and it's because of what they're doing. When they're having a bad day, it stands out a lot more to me. So today, yeah, like I said, when Partey's having a good day, you don't recognize it some days. Rice, like you said, all three of them together, no problem. No problem. And I think that is the structure that Arteta has brought to the table. That's why I feel like there's no way they can just let Partey go unless they really are concerned about his off the field situation. No matter who they bring in, just because I kind of felt like I want to have the odds in my favor. So I want to have like if Zubimendi is coming and Zubimendi needs to rest for whatever reason, right? Then you're bringing in Partey, right? Right. If Rice is going to be your 6 backup, cool. But if he's going to be your 8, then I want Partey to be able to come in and play in those games, and we're not going to lose anything. So that's kind of how I feel like that's how I would like that to work if it could.
I mean, the whole Partey bringing him back thing, I think I've entertained it. I just think someone's going to pay him more than we want to.
No, that's what I'm saying. If we can, yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, no, I get that.
I mean, I think if you can get him anywhere the 120 to 160 range a week.
I don't think he's going to take that big of a cut. So I think you're asking.
What's he at right now? Because I could be completely off. I don't know where he's at right now.
I'll take a look, but I thought
I'll look at it while you talk. But
yeah.
So his salary per week is about 160K per week. So gross is about 200.
Oh, is that okay?
I'm gonna get 200 from somebody. I'd be shocked if he gets 200 from somebody, but
yeah.
But again, like if you were to get him, hey, it was to a 2-year deal.
This is 200 on here. 200 a week is what I see here for
gross
per week for him. He's like 5th in the team, just ahead of Saka and Saliba and Martinelli. So in terms of like they're like 5, 10, and 20 mil behind him.
I don't think they bring him back. I really don't think they bring him back.
Yeah, like I said, that would be my preferred because then like we have that there. But I can understand why we wouldn't. Like for me, that's where is Rice just going to be able to pick up the 6th to be comfortable next season? Is that going to happen?
I think you'd have Zubimendi at the 6th. I think that's what they would bring.
No, I know, but like we need depth, and we need the same we need the same like depth where we take out. Like right now, we take out Partey, put in Jorginho. There's a big drop, right? We need the drop where, like, you take out Timber, you put in Miles Lewis-Skelly, and you don't see that big of a drop. You take out White and you put in Timber, you don't see that much of a drop. right?
Tommy Asu when he was healthy. Tommy
Asu is healthy, and there's 58th minute, and there's Rice with his first of 2 free kicks. It's like when he set up for that, I was just like, all right, Rice is taking a free kick. This is going to be interesting.
I liked it. It worked out. Again, I think the Partey discussion in the summer.
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. I think he's probably going to bounce. I think they'll offer him, and I think he'll probably find somewhere else. I don't know if Barcelona have the money to pay him.
Well, I know some big teams are asking for him. Whether they're gonna, I mean, they can probably pay him because they do pay their players a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that. I can see that happening, right? So yeah, but yeah, no, like I said, I would like to have him stay, but we'll see.
And what if we're getting Thomas Partey contract here, Thomas Partey? I know do you know how they do it in the NFL? Some guys will just ball out and then they go get their bag and then they're like, oh man, I'll play like 8 games and get 2 sacks. And I'm not saying he's faking it.
Well, no, but if we got Partey, I don't know. I hear what you're saying.
The contract. It's a lazy argument, but it's an argument that's legitimate because we see it a lot in American sports. The contract year, players ball out, get their contract, and sometimes don't overperform, or sometimes they keep performing. It depends.
I just always felt he just wasn't healthy, and if he's healthy, then we get the good one. He's not healthy, then we get the that he's not healthy. That's kind of how I feel. I like to think, at least in terms of football, he's not going to slack. It's not Scooby Doo is leaving us, so we're going to say good night. I don't know if he's gone already, but thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. I know it's kind of late for you guys, and it is an off day, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Partey. Let's get in. I guess we get into the second half now. I think all things changed once we got that free kick because everything like Real Madrid was trying to break us down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mbappe did have a shot that hit the side netting, but in reality, it was just the same thing as the first half. Nothing really changed that much.
Yeah.
The free kick changed some things. I mean, didn't need a corner, but yeah, and I heard some people say that Real Madrid's the way they had lined up was poor. The fact that ball curled the way it did and everything was because of the wall and stuff like that. But that ball, the way it curled was just splendid, perfect.
Yeah. And they did it once, and then he did a free kick twice on it.
Yeah, and then the second free kick was ridiculous in a sense that you had the Arsenal players just split and open things up, and then he just put it in the top shelf, basically, where no goalkeeper's getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see that, right? I see that free kick, and I'm like, so why when you're in the box and you're like 5 feet from the goal, do I not see a rocket like that? I understand like there's timing and all of that, but consistently we just like you're doing that, then like when you do get into the box, I'm hoping for similar and finishing better and all that kind of stuff. But
I know we've disagreed on Rice this year. We've had a discussion about that. I think he's been fine. I think they've looked worse because we haven't had finishers up top.
Mm-hmm.
Missing Saka and Havertz for time, I think, is a big killer. And Martinelli, I think he's on like 3 goals this year. It's not been very good as far as finishing.
Yep.
I think we saw it was a world-class moment. I don't know, because some people said Declan Rice is a world-class player, and I'm like, it depends on what your definition of world-class is, and we've always talked about what's world-class, what's not. I think the word gets thrown out.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, world-class to me would mean that he would be considered one of the best 8s in world football.
Our midfielders, you'd have to go midfielder at that point.
Midfielder. Well, pick a midfielder, and then is he worth? No, is like even Modric for is I think better than him in a sense of like presence and stuff like that when he's playing, right? And he's like 40 years old. Like Porto last year, right, when we played Pedro, his presence on the pitch, you just
that's
40 years old, and like you're like that's what it looks like. I mean, he's not world class, but that's what it looks like,
Well, but Declan Rice's trajectory is still there, right? So
no, he's still got time to get up there, and he doesn't need to be world class today.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. But I think what he's done now is he's kind of cemented himself as like, hey, I'm worth it. I think that's kind of worked in itself, especially if we can get through the semifinal. Like, it's a financial decision too here, right? So a club making it to the semifinal, that's more money to the PSR, right? And I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here on that one, but
you're jumping ahead of yourself. But I'm going to jump back and go.
Please do.
If we had an Ollie Watkins, what would that have done in this type of a game? We had Ollie Watkins sitting up there playing as a striker today. Today I know Moreno brings something, but I know Ollie Watkins brings something as well. So
I want to give Courtois his credit too there because he made some.
They were like, he had the two shot, the header by Moreno, and then the strike by Martinelli, and then he had another save, and then two strikes by Martinelli, I believe.
This could have been 7-8-0,
with some saved goals, and then we still were able. Like then, see, this is the thing. Then we found other ways to score.
Yeah.
Right. The goalkeeper's having he's doing what what Liverpool goalkeeper did against PSG. Right. That game could have been blown out. Right. PSG could have been up 2-3-0 easily. Right. But the goalkeeper kept him in. Right. Allison kept him in the game. And that's why it didn't look as bad.
Yeah.
All right. Same thing. Courtois basically kept them in the game as long as he could. And then we found different ways. And then, like, I'm going to say he kind of fell asleep on the free kicks and paid for it to some degree. And that might be preparing the line or just not being in the right position foot-wise and then getting beat. All right. But, he definitely saved some of those strikes. You're like,
yeah.
Damn,
I mean, it's just I think the big moments, the world-class goalkeepers, and Rise made some really great saves this week.
Yeah.
This
and
year,
today he didn't have to today he didn't have any saves to make where you went.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know what? Sorry, I take that back because the shot that Mbappe put on that he got down for.
Yep.
Yes, right.
That was definitely one.
So that would be a good save for him, but it wasn't the Courtois shots that were being rocketed at him, all right?
And Raya will probably have his moment next week.
Yeah, we're gonna need all of that, and then if we get White back, then now we got another. Even if White doesn't start, but White is available, we get through 60, 70 minutes of the game, and then we just bring in some fresh legs on the back line, right?
Yep.
And see out the game and see out the game, right? So
up 5-0. Up 5-0.
We didn't. Yeah, Saka. We won't be making as many. We won't be making some of these turnovers that we did. And you know what? Maybe we figure out how to score from another set corner. All right.
And let's not forget Camavinga is missing the next game for them too, which I don't know if Ceballos will be back by that time, but.
But I mean, Ceballos and either one doesn't really concern me as much, right? I don't think they're like, well, we're gonna just because of that. That's the one right there where Rice gets the two. Sorry, is that who is it? Oh, it was Moreno that had the two strikes.
Yep, it was. He hit one. The defender hit it off his leg, and it came back in a way where he chested it perfectly.
Yes.
And
chested it down, and he booted it, and then Courtois
straight at Courtois, which I think he did good job regaining control for the situation, but the finish was just kind of like, man, I wish he'd have put it on the ground, or I don't know. So I'm not knocking it because those are two really good opportunities, and to me, it's nothing what he did wrong. It's more that was good defending by Real Madrid. Like, period. Like, sometimes you have to hold your hands up and say, okay, all right. And at that moment, was it still 1-0 at that moment?
Yep.
I was like, my God, if we win this game 1-0 and that's all, you're going to sit. There's going to be a lot of doubts.
Yeah,
so thank God for the second
we were
goal.
peppering that goal. I mean, like, and
Yeah.
those are 5 shots on target. You know what I mean? 'Cause like they had to save it off the line. Couture had to save it. Save another set of goals. Like, we put a lot of balls in the box, a lot of balls on target, and yes, very, very nice. And this is 68th minute right now, and Saka goes down, and we're gonna have a free kick coming in about a minute.
Moreno had 3 shots on target. Martinelli
Yeah.
had 2 shots on target.
Yep.
Rice with 5 on target,
Yes.
and then 2 from Thomas Partey.
Yes, and Partey, then the Partey's early in that first half when Moreno, who's, like I said, and some people say could Ollie Watkins do what Moreno's doing. I think there's 2 different types of styles of play. And Moreno laid the ball back for Partey, who he struck it right at the goal, right at the goalkeeper though, but still a shot on target. This is at the 60 when Saka goes down for that free kick. I'm like, maybe we should pull him, because that's they brought him down, and Moreno does get up, and it's the 70th minute here, and we're about to take another free kick. But yeah, no.
So
So like you said, will the goalkeeper stand on his head again when we play them next week?
So Vinicius had 3 shots on target. I'm looking at the shot selection right now. He had 2 inside the 18 and 1 outside the 18. Mbappe, and these are all from if you're attacking from the left wing position, so on Timber side. Mbappe had 1 that, of course, that was the one that went over the goal from the turnover, right, from Saka passing it back, and then 2 really close 6-yard line shots that Raya staved. And I think one of them actually back up, Rudolph. I think one of them actually hit the side netting early.
Yep.
So they had opportunities. Rodrigo has a shot as well.
Yep.
So I mean, I have to go back and look at their shots to see if we're kind of undervaluing what Raya did in the game, because he's overshadowed by
I'll say this: the strikes that they were their strikes were nowhere near our strikes.
Right.
Our strikes were stinging the goalkeeper's hands.
Quality.
Their strikes, Raya was just catching them. Like they didn't get much on him. I think because I believe our defense is better, so they're not going to get as much time to put it in a good shot. They're not as we play better defense, so they're not going to get that much on their shots because they're not going to have much time and space and all of that. But so that's kind of how I looked at that. But yeah, so Red did he might have got a lot of saves, but the only one that really mattered, the only one that really, he had to work for is that Mbappe one. The other ones, like a couple, like I say, he was just catching them. Like the shot, they didn't get much on the shot. So yeah. So, which, that could change in the next game and they might get those same strikes. But, as long as we don't get away from the way that we play football, we'll be all right. If we try to hold on to a lead, I think that's where we're going to go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have a go. Like, we're going to have a go on Wednesday. Yeah. If they go out there and put a fast foot forward and we lose, I can kind of live with that, Gary. I know I'm not going to be able to – I say that now. But if they go out there and just lock up shop and we lose, then I'm going to feel really dirty because that means defensively we failed and we didn't even try. I think you got to go out swinging on this one.
Well, you got to get that second goal, right? And this is so you got to win. You won the first half, so now we need to win the second half, right? And the way we win the second half is one if we put a shot in the back of the net, and then we'll see how things play out there, right? So for me, this is our 1 goal up.
Yeah.
So now we need to get that second goal up to if we got 3 tries at this, right?
Listen, I think you've got to get to the 15th minute. get to the 15 minutes, survived,
Yep.
right? 15th, maybe 25th minute, around that range.
Yep.
Have a feeling out. You know what to expect. You've hopefully had a couple shots on target by that time. Even if it's 0-0, that's even perfect. I mean, even if you get to halftime at 0-0, I'm still feeling really good. And if you can get, you just got to get one, because that just ranches up the pressure on them. And tonight you had their front three. You had Rodrigo, you had Vinicius, and you had Mbappe, and you weathered the storm.
Yeah, and
with
you know what?
Kivior,
Like
right?
somebody said, did you hear much about Rodrigo today?
No, not at all.
Like we heard, Vinicius had a couple of goes. Mbappe always gets his, right, in terms of his opportunities, but it didn't seem like he got much out of it. Rodrigo today, and that was some of the talk today, was Rodrigo versus Saka, and why Rodrigo's a better wing than Arteta, than Saka.
No.
And it's in the sense of what you see as opposed to what you get, and it's like, and the case in point was, he's doing it for Real Madrid. He doesn't really have to have the responsibilities that Saka has. So if he did, he probably, like, people think he would be able to do that. And I kind of felt like that's the whole Foden thing, right? Like, Foden's always had a KDB and a solid attack around him. Now it's that attack's gotten old, or it's gotten disjointed with Haaland, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Haaland needs more stuff than probably other attackers have in the past, right? And
service, yeah.
So I kind of felt like Foden's not giving it, and he's not able to do it himself like he was able to last season, when he kind of had his go at it, and then like now you expect him to improve on what he did, right? And he didn't. He didn't take what he just did last time and do better. And there goes Malu Skelly with a nice pass to Moreno, and Moreno puts it home. And you're like, Arsenal's up 3-0. And you're like, wow. But yeah, Moreno looks. I don't know. This is where I tell you, this is why Kai Havertz not getting 20 goals in his season is like, it's poor. Poor, because I'm telling, we're bringing in an attacker, center forward, whatever you want to call it, and he's not able to get the numbers that we need. And then we can bring in a midfielder, and he can go out there and score every other game he plays, and you're like, why is that? Like, you're going to get the opportunities with Arsenal, and that's why I figured he'd do better when he came. But now he needs to improve, and he needs to be hitting that 20 goal mark, because he has been in the system, and he has, So I kind of felt like that's where he needs to be, and that's why we want more out of him.
Gary, I still think my boy's going to get 20 goals this season. He would have had it blown his hamstring.
Yeah.
But hey, it shoulda, coulda, woulda, right?
Yeah. We don't know why that happened. But yes,
we know why he blew his hamstring, because the team didn't get a forward in January. I mean, that's why we just beat Real Madrid 3-0. Why open up old wounds? No reason to. Move on.
Yeah. No, I hear you. No, but it is. It's relative to some of the conversations. So yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
So no, there's a lot of what ifs, right? What ifs, and it's like, and like you said, if we were to win the next match, or finish off the next leg and move on, and we make whatever 5 to 10 to 20 extra mil or whatever it is we make, then you're like, then Ollie Watkins' money, the difference wouldn't have been fine. All right, we would have made it up right then and there. If you go deeper into the cup matches, you would have probably made some more money up there as well. It would have paid for itself. So you take the risk. We didn't do that. We got Why Not in the house. Why Not's coming in. Why Not? Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Says hi, Gary and Bronco.
Good
game. Worried about the hammies. Yeah. Now it's always going to be worried about the hammies until we're not worried about the hammies until everybody's back. It's crazy that Nelson gets the same hammy injury as our other players, and he doesn't even play much. So obviously, when I see that, I can't go, well, you know what? It's just wear and tear, right? It's just we just overuse our players when our backups who are getting like, what was it? Remember that when Erdegaard was out injured, and Nelson still didn't have more minutes than him. And by the time he came back, he still had more minutes than Nelson did. Even Nelson made that Bournemouth shot late, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You know what we're gonna do? We're 75 minutes. It's just been me and Spencer. We're probably gonna head out of here. I know Why Not? You just came in here, but we've been going strong, enjoying the game, talking about the game. Didn't really talk about our next match, which is against, I think it's Brentford, but I think we need to talk about today's game. That game, I think some people are already like, I don't care who starts for that game. Sit everybody, cotton wool, get prepared for the next match if that's what we want to do. So we'll see how we play against Brentford. But I think with Saka going down early in the game, Rice going down in the game, I would expect them not to need to start. Let's just say that. Maybe they get minutes. They don't need to start.
My opinion is I would go, this is going to be controversial, but yet very brave. I would probably make 3 or 4 changes tops.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've got yourself a 3-0 lead. You play on Saturday. Go get yourself 3 more points. I'm probably not starting Saka, and I'm probably not starting Odegaard, and maybe Rice sits.
I wouldn't start.
Skelly sitting.
I feel like Erdegaard needs to play. I just need to get him clicking, whatever that is. For me.
If your goal is, hey, we're going to go 60 minutes,
and
we're pulling them off, okay, but I still think we have to make sure that we secure this Champions League again for next year.
That's where I would start in Wary, and then I would push on Wary back later in the game. Is what I would do.
I'd be okay with Butler getting a shout.
He hasn't been on our bench lately, so I don't even know if he's. He
was on it today, though.
Oh, he was on it. Well, I think it's a bigger bench. Grower, who's a midfielder, was on the last couple of games we played.
I'll tell you what. This is what I got. I got, to me, Tierney, Kivior, Gabriella. No, Gabriella's out. Saliba, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I've been going White, and then I'm doing Jorginho, putting him in there. I'm probably going to throw in Wary and probably start Rice, cameo. And then we're going to probably, if you can get Sterling out there, please just play whatever. Probably start Trossard. And I guess you could run Moreno if you wanted. I mean, something towards that. We're like, hey, we're going to play you. And then Odegaard, you come on at the 60th minute. Saka come on at the 60th minute. Timber come on. Timber's the one that worries me because he just seems like he's come up. Like I remember he fell down during the Everton game, but I think that was, or maybe it was the Fulham game. So
he got hit on. It was a contact. That was contact.
Yeah. He plays very rough. I mean, and I'm not saying it in a bad, disrespectful way. He plays in a rough manner that he puts his body out there, and there are consequences for doing that. And I think a lot of times we see him get hurt and we're like, it's probably bad, but it's really just contact things of just playing the game in the style of manner he does. And and his knee, his knee. I mean, we do remember the ACL, but I think he just plays. I think he plays super physical. He's a guy that leaves 110% on the pitch. He's just that guy.
Yeah. No, if Butler's on the bench today and they do use him, that'd be good. That would be good. Yeah, no, I remember this about the Dutch coach talking about Nelson. But yeah, no, we definitely need to rotate, and I think Tierney could do with some minutes for sure. Like I said, and where he could do with some minutes because he didn't play today either, right? He didn't play last week. He didn't play in the weekend. He should be ready to go for a full 90 minutes.
Come on, Wary.
In Wary, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to get him. I kind of felt like unless he's injured, he should be getting some minutes, I believe. So
I'll say this: I'm not worried about Chelsea catching us. I'm not worried about City catching us. I'm more worried right now about where Forest is and where Newcastle and Villa are.
Yeah, I kind of felt like,
especially.
I kind of felt like, if White is coming back and stuff like that, then we'll be all right defensively there. But yeah, no, I mean, our tough games are right at the end, right? We play Newcastle and we play Liverpool and Newcastle back to back. But otherwise, we have manageable games that we can see out, and with our defense, no matter who we put out there, I think we'll be able to keep them at bay. And if and where he comes in, he gives us something. Yeah.
We can't bring back El Neni, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably still has eligibility to play, but we can't do it.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody we play is bullies. I mean, we play Everton, they're bullies. We play Brentford, they're bullies. I mean, it's everyone.
Really part of it at this point. I understand his premise of that. Brentford doesn't worry me. I mean, this is part of it. Like, I mean, we've had guys get hurt at injuries, so it's like, I mean, hurt at injuries. The dumb comment of the night. Hurt during practice. Like, it's kind of like this weird, like, it's kind of like Kivior. Like, is he my first choice? Nowhere near it, but he's the man up, and I feel way more confident about Kivior than I ever did about Rob Holding.
Yeah, well, the one thing we have to be, I guess also we have to be concerned about Kivior. Will he be able to play, 3 games in a row?
Yeah. I think that's why you potentially, I don't know what Calafiori's fitness is or anything. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to have to be some tough decisions made.
Let's see. I have like a little site that kind of gives us usually the information on when players should be returning. So like Calafiori, it says he's supposed to return on the 20th. So that's still over 2 weeks from that's almost 2 weeks from now. So that means he wouldn't be available for any games until Ipswich Town, which is after Real Madrid. So I don't think we'll see him definitely this weekend. And then like I said, we have Ipswich Town, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth before we play Liverpool and Newcastle. So as far as the tough games that might make a difference in terms of like if we're worrying about Forest, if we get to that point and we're 6-7 points up, it might not matter, right?
Yeah. It might not.
5. Right now we're 5. So if they were to drop points and we were to get a win against Brentford, that 7-point swing might be right just what we need to keep them at bay. Even going into Liverpool and then playing home against Newcastle, So we need to play at home against Newcastle and at least redeem ourselves. We played them 3 times and haven't looked like we were able to touch them, swinging at air essentially. But that's Saturday. Like you said, we'll probably rotate. You don't think much. I think much. I think we might do more than that. But as long as we set ourselves up to win, I guess. But I guess if we set ourselves up to win, then that means less rotation.
I mean, I think the goals at this point is maintain Champions League for next year and try to get to the semifinal. And if you get PSG, I think you have to fancy your chances. I know they've played very well and everything, but if you get Villa, I'm kind of worried because you've had issues with Villa.
Well, yeah. But I mean, we also had a 2-goal lead against them when we let that slide. If we play the defense, we know we can. We're not going to look like we did in that second half against them. Like Rice, Partey playing right back is the reason why some will say that happened. And we'll hopefully we're not anywhere near having to play Partey as a right back against a Villa team in the Champions League semifinal. So I mean, the problem is PSG, and they might, they could easily get past Villa the way they've been playing. So we'll see. But everybody, thank you for joining us. Why not? Thanks for joining us a little bit late, but then also being able to contribute. The longer we're in UCL, the more we will need to rotate in the league. Yeah, no, for sure. Now points dropped. I think finishing fourth should be fine, and the deeper we go, the more assurance we have that fifth place gets into the Champions League. Not that we want to be fifth, but I mean, it just opens it up for teams that are on the cusp and like, all right, we're in fifth. Do we need to push this anymore? So there you go. Yeah, our draws seem to be working because we get draws and then other teams are losing. So what you gonna do? So I think this being bad for Arsenal, but worse bad for Arsenal means draws and not losses. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what the magic number is to make top four or get second. I don't know what it is right now, but I think we're at 31 games played or 30 games played.
Yeah, 31 games played.
So that puts you at 7 more, 21 more points possible. I think you probably, to secure that fourth spot, probably need to get, I'm saying 15 just to be safe, to like second place. I think you can.
So those 5 games would be right now Brentford, Ipswich Town, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, and then the last game of the season against Southampton, who,
they've already quit.
Yeah. By then they've had enough. And we're gonna have players that are gonna probably, and Weary probably will get to start that one for sure. So yeah, I mean we've got winnable games coming up. The next 3 we should be trying to win those because, like I said, those last 3 games, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Southampton. We could lose 2 of those. I mean, we could win all 3 depending on where Liverpool might just be. Liverpool's at home, so I doubt they're gonna want to lose that match.
Yeah. So. Well, again, I think there is going to be a confidence boost from beating Real Madrid. I think there is that fallout of, hey, we do belong. Not that I ever think there was really a doubt with this team, but we've seen a lot of draws this year. 10 draws, I think, in the league, or 11, I think, which is unacceptable.
Yep, and most of them from winning positions. I'll say that all the time because that's the problem. It's like you've got a lead and you can't hold on.
It's one thing if it's like, hey, it was 2-1 and we nicked it in the 92nd minute. Like, that's a different thing. But when I'm up, in the 37th minute on a Trossard goal and then we concede a penalty, I mean, those are moments where you're like, hey, if you got the 3 points if you had 2 more points against Everton on this last weekend, you're looking at this Brentford game with a little bit more like, okay, we can draw this game and it's okay. Yep. Now you kind of feel like you have to get the 3. I think they will. I mean, my prediction right now is they'll get the 3, and they'll probably lose at the Bernabeu 1-0.
Mm-hmm. So if I look at I'll look at Forest the way they end their season, guess. Right? So Forest will be playing home Everton, who
tough game.
It should be tough. Then they play away at that team, so you don't know you're probably not going to get anything there. Then they play City in the semifinals. They played a Brentford team that you said could be a struggle. So Crystal Palace, Leicester City, West Ham, and Chelsea. So no, they don't play Liverpool and Newcastle in terms of teams that are battling for top 5. They only play Chelsea really. So they only have one team that's really battling for us. Liverpool already got it, but Newcastle is going to be battling. So they end their season which could be an important game. That last game home to Chelsea could mean something in terms of the top 5 positioning, right? So, but they should have winnable. Most of their games should be winnable outside of that last game. So, yeah, we might have. Right now we're 5 ahead of them. So, yeah. If we finish third, whatever. But if we go deeper into the Champions League, I don't care.
I mean, if the trade-off is we get to a final and whatever happens, and we finish 4th, I can live with that.
Yeah.
And
it's because,
I'll take a 5th, Gary, and a Champions League win.
Yes. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
If you win it, you win it. You get to go. You get to play
Yeah,
in it no
I
matter
mean,
what, right?
Yeah, I get. I know. I know I'm getting a little wild here, but
No, but if you win it and you get to go
yeah,
anyways, then it doesn't really matter if you where you finish at that point, right? So
yeah. I
you're
mean,
gonna take it, I think.
I think, like I said, and we'll, of course, if I'm available Saturday, we'll talk about it some more. But
Hmm.
the just a good night, man. I think I don't know if there's anything else to say. I think
Yep.
it's about as perfect as a story as you could have written.
Yep.
You know, we've reached the intermission, and let's hope that the end of the story ends the way we want it to.
Yep.
And
Yep.
your ticket to the next round. I mean, because this is what you wanted, you know. And
Yep.
don't forget, if you guys do not know, you can get your Bukayo Saka jerseys online for $60, and the Arsenal's putting free printing on it for you. So,
Oh,
just in
nice.
case you're wondering, Gary gave himself a Bukayo Saka.
There you go.
So,
I
thanks,
don't know.
everyone.
I don't have any shirts with players' names on the back. I don't know. I just feel like I'm an Arsenal fan, so that's my thing.
Yeah. I've got a few. I have a lot that are blank.
I don't have any jerseys with any players on. I've got a couple of Cowboy, got a couple of Gator jerseys, but none with names of any players on it. So I just feel like, yeah. But yes, everybody, thank you for joining us. Spence, anything you want to say to the people before we head out?
No, everybody take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for coming by and listening to us tonight. It was fun. Like I said, yesterday would have been really hard to make. Today kind of works a little better, even though I've got to go handle some business for the next couple hours. But
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I said, thanks for coming by, and we'll see what's up.
Yes. And everybody, thank you again for joining. Like I said before, yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible for us to move ahead now. 9 points ahead of Newcastle, so we've got, so it might be fine. Yeah, I mean, I think the way Arteta is going to set us up, we're going to have opportunities to score, so we might, defensively, we're going to be solid no matter who we put back there. So, yeah, a Rice UCL kit is in order. There you go. There you go, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a little a little star on the old New Jersey next year. So
Yeah, that'd be cool.
see. But everybody, we'll do this again next week. Right, I think Tony had important things to deal with, so hopefully he's all that sorted out now. Maybe even he's probably even watching some wrestling now. But everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll do this again next week. See you on the weekend. Spencer said he might be able to join us. We'll see how that plays out. But Arsenal plays Arsenal plays on Saturday at 12:30.
Their time or our time?
12:30 our time. So
Okay.
So that is after the show. So we'll see how that plays out. So talk to you guys then. Everybody have a good evening. And once again, thanks for joining us. And we will do this again.
Take care.